So this isn't something I normally do, but King Arthur is a god release I've been waiting for a long time, since not only is he a really cool character, especially since I'm English, but he's our first new warrior in a while. Last one I think was Achilles, which was like the start of season 5. He's also an incredibly ambitious god that not everyone is going to like, but in my opinion it's a good thing that high-res are willing to take risks like these. I feel like this last year of god releases have been sort of boring and uninspired, aside from Baron. So to start this off, I'm definitely a fan of King Arthur's overall design, both the way he looks and his animations, plus the actual design of his kit, but there are certainly some issues with him as well. So let's start with what I like about him, then I'll cover some things I think need changing or fixing, and then I'll include with my overall thoughts on the release and the god as a whole. So the combo stance mechanic is something that people are really divided on, but for me, I think it's a defining aspect of the character. Without it, his abilities on their own are sort of basic. It's like taking away Cuchulain's rage mode, he'd be boring without it. The animations that actually work correctly look amazing. Especially I like the combo stance 3, which is the long spin with the extra damage blow at the end, and then the full charge ultimate from your perspective looks really cool. I think if they can touch up all of the animation work to the quality of these two, he'd be probably one of the best looking gods in the game. Speaking of, his visual design is another thing that I really like. He looks like a true warrior, and it really conveys that he's meant to be bulky based on like the huge armor set he's got and obviously Excalibur. Plus his recolor is actually one of the best in the game in my opinion. The energy system and having 2 ultimates you can use depending on the scenario is really great as well, I think. While I do think the 35 energy ultimate is a little strong in comparison to the 80 one, I like the overall idea. The 80 energy ultimate isn't even close to twice as good as the 30 energy one, which really makes me find myself just spamming the 30 energy one twice or 3 times in a fight instead of actually going for the 80 energy. The only time really that the 80 is more useful is in a 1v1 scenario or like right as you hit level 5, since as you hit level 5 you're gonna have a full energy bar anyway, so you may as well use it. I feel like in teamfights though, Sundering Strike vastly outperforms Excalibur's Wrath. Though I guess the max health true damage is good at picking off tanks on Excalibur's Wrath. Usually as the warrior you're not the one to be focusing tanks in a teamfight though, and you're usually better off trying to land like a multi-man stun with Sundering Strike. Since we're already going that way, let's talk about some of the things I don't like for Arthur or things that need improving. So I'll cover the many bugs and animation glitches quickly because this is obviously something Titan are looking to fix and I don't think I need to explain it too much to you. Mostly the issues are the animation bugs and abilities not matching the tooltips. The one in normal stance won't play the animation if you just auto-attacked or just came out of another ability animation. The lunge for his auto-attacks looks really jerky and kinda bad. Being 80 energy ulted looks really whack if you're on the receiving end of it and is kinda disorienting to watch. And the ultimate at 80 energy is doing a completely different amount of damage than what's actually listed on the tooltip. He'll also play ability animations twice sometimes for literally no reason. The same thing happens with sounds like recalling sounds and stuff, and finally, I've actually managed to ult someone with 80 energy and throw them outside of the map. It only happened once, but I managed to throw them into the Oracle's pit after they landed, which was really strange. Those are the main issues I've encountered, but I'm sure there's many more. So on to issues that aren't bugs. The first glaring thing I've noticed both playing him and playing against him is that his power curve throughout the game is super weird and inconsistent. Early game he feels like he does absolutely nothing up until like level 9, but then he levels up like twice more to level 11 and starts one-shotting you for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why this is, maybe it's just that once you get some points both into the 1 and the 3, his damage just like spikes a lot, but it feels really bad to like easily be able to fight him, but then 2 levels later you stand no chance. Also, his abilities are all on vastly different power levels to the point where some of them feel really bad to use over other ones. I touched on the ultimate earlier and that the lesser form seems almost as powerful as the 80 energy variant, which is definitely a problem. But also the 3 in normal stance does like almost nothing since you usually only hit one of the cleaves, so it does like 150 damage, shreds 7% protections, which is basically irrelevant. Whereas in comparison the 3 in combo stance does almost 700 base damage alone, plus 115% scaling, which feels really strong if you can burn someone's movement ability and lock them in for the full duration. While we're on the 3, I also think that cripple shouldn't cancel it in combo stance. It feels like it's just a Thor 3 with some extra movement speed, and movement speed boosting abilities that also do damage like Daji's 2 aren't affected by cripples. So it's inconsistent that Arthur 3 is crippled, but other channeled damage abilities that give movement speed like Isis 1 or Daji 2 aren't crippled. But normal stance 3 I think should still be crippled, since that is more of a dash, especially with its animation, than just like a speed boost. Another thing that's quite conflicted with the community but I really don't like is the lunge auto attacks. And not just because the animation for them is broken as hell and they can mess up ability casts and animations, I think they need to change the lunge to only affect gods. Since in that application I think it's fine because like gods might be running away from you and things, but like on minions it's really awkward, and on towers and fire giant it's really bad. Like you'll be tanking fire giant and they'll throw out the line of fire and it'll lunge you straight into it, which feels really frustrating to play with. And it's also just weird to keep lunging forwards when all you're doing is attacking a stationary target like the fire giant or a tower. So in conclusion, I really like King Arthur, and for the most part, other than a few things and the many animation bugs, he's super fun to play. People will complain about him not being powerful enough, but in my opinion he's not bad, he's just pretty balanced. And let's be real, Titan are going to buff him anyway in the coming patches, so it's not really that big of a deal. Fix all the animations, make the lunge autos only activate when targeting a god, and maybe play around with the power level of some of his abilities a bit so some aren't vastly outclassed by others, and he'll be perfect. Even as he is, he's super fun to play. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Arthur. Let me know what you think of him down below. This video is as much about sharing your thoughts and starting a discussion as it is about sharing my own opinion. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and of course subscribe for more stuff just like this a couple of times a week, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, you nerds.